loyal DCPC listeners? This is episode 53 of Discussion Combustion Podcast, coming to you from Denver, Colorado. As always, we're stoked, pumped to be back in the building. Appreciate all the loyal support you guys have been showing us. If you are just listening still, don't forget to head over to YouTube. Find us over at the Discussion Combustion YouTube channel. Be sure to like and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode of this podcast. You guys are what make this show what it is. We're a day late, but not a dollar short, and it's better late than never. So we're excited to be back in the building, man. We got, who knows what's going to happen tonight.
We got casual conversation in store for everybody out there in listening world, video world. You know how we do it. Just we're old school friends sitting here having a conversation. Been kind of a crazy week out there, but way to crush it, everybody, last week. All of our loyal listeners out there. I mean, it's you give us a little bit of extra oomph, a little extra momentum when everyone's out there participating, and we just love you guys.
Absolutely, man. It's cool to see just the wheels keep on turning, man. We're going to keep pumping content. Guests, we're looking at the beginning of June as we're going to start to lay out some of the guest schedule.
Yes.
It was convenient to have Jamie on last week, being that, he lives here.
He lives here, yeah.
So that kind of made sense. So the guests are going to start rolling. In the meantime, you're going to have to just look at us, and listen to us banter a little bit. We'll try to keep it fun and interesting. And of course, we wouldn't be able to do that with our great support from Mountain Made CBD. Head on over to mountainmade.life to stock up on all of your crystal clear CBD products: the Build, the Boost, the Recover, and the Puff. Full spectrum puff, guys. That's a CBD pre-roll flower. I haven't personally tried it. I hear it's tremendous. It's doing extremely well. It is tasty. Real good. I like the Recover. That's my favorite. We talked about that Magnolia. Man, that gives me some sleepy time. Makes your dreams a little wild sometimes, I feel like.
You're probably getting more acclimated to it, though, I'm sure. Because you use it almost nightly.
I try to use it almost nightly. I miss some nights here and there.
Yeah.
If I've been boozing a little bit too hard, I probably won't take one. But
yeah,
great product. Fully recommend it. So again, head on over to mountainmade.life. Check out all your crystal clear CBD products. CBD fuel designed for an activated lifestyle. Check out some of those workout programs while you're over there. That hashtag #GoLikeHell merchandise. Mountain Made offering great things.
They are. Mountain Made is a company that you could also get on your shelves if you're a dispensary outside of the state of Colorado. They do ship nationally, and I know that they're on some shelves in Texas. Our good buddy down there, Jeff, has been working that hard and having some success. So yeah, if you're a dispensary out there that's looking to have crystal clear CBD products that's on your shelf, meets all the regulations with all the laws, Mountain Made is the company that it's the right one, man. They got the 50 milligram boost in the build in the morning, and they're doing things that other CBD companies aren't out there. They have higher doses, milligrams of the CBD to give you a better effect, and we love them, man. Mike's been on multiple of our episodes, the owner of Mountain Made, and he talks about his product and it's their core values and who they are as a company is truly why we support them over here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great product to get behind. It was easy to partner up with these guys. It's medicine. It's providing relief to people, giving them a boost when they need it, get a little sleep, a little bit of that CBD puff. What they've done over there at Mountain Made over the last couple of years, the way they've expanded from basically being a workout-based kind of style. I mean, that's where they got their name.
Yeah.
And hashtag #GoLikeHell. Mike talked about that in some of our previous episodes. To see what they've done and as they've grown, shipping nationwide, no matter where you are in the country, you'll be able to have some of this great product either on your shelves or in your pantry at home. It's available everywhere if you head over to mountainmade.life and place your orders. And
and that's hashtag #GoLikeHell.
#GoLikeHell.
DCPC is also brought to you by Wild Outdoor Adventures. We're all sick of sitting here inside. We're all ready to get outdoors, start seeing the world a little bit. Well, guess what? You can go on their website, no charge, see what they're doing out there. And a lot of the activities, no charge as well. So you can literally go see some stuff, meet up with people of similar interests. They have Hope for Teens, veteran programs, entrepreneurial stuff, blogs on their website. It's an easy-to-use website. So definitely go check it out, WOAMEET.com.
That's right, and as Art mentioned, it is free to sign up, and 90% of these trips and programs that they offer are completely free, unless there's added expenses like initiation fees, equipment rentals, things of that nature. Guys, it's the easiest way to get out of this quarantine. Summer's here. They got a backpacking trip coming up, I believe, mid-June, somewhere in there. We'd have to quote me on that. But yeah, WA, they got your interest. They're ready to rip tater chip as always, getting these guys outdoors. Kevin's doing a great job expanding that company. Now it's just up to you guys. Keep these trips flowing. Head on over there, sign up for free, create an account, post whatever you want, connect with people, really bringing people together, during this quarantine and then getting them outdoors after this quarantine. So terrific things over there. That's less streaming and more exploring.
Absolutely. And we're excited to just be back in the studio. It's been fun to get back rolling to a normal. What's the new normal? It's nice to be getting back to that. And I'm just at the point where I still have my face mask with me. It's actually in the car, so right now I've just kind of failed that. But whenever I go into stores or anything, I'm still putting that on and still taking the necessary precautions, cleaning my hands. But at some point we have to try to get back out there.
Well,
and so it feels good to be in here doing
does.
this. Getting back kind of to a regular. And like we mentioned in the beginning of this, we're going to work on start getting some more guests in here so we can have some more educational episodes opposed to the Kevin Arthur banter hour.
Yeah, I'm sure people get sick of listening to us go at it, or maybe they're entertained by it. I don't know. I mean, that was the backbone of this whole project, Yeah. But it is fun to work guests in there, and we're still kind of trying some different things out here at the studio when we do bring guests in, because the way we have the cameras and the lights set up, we're not experts in any of this. We kind of just wing it.
Yeah, every week we're kind of learning a little bit more as we go.
Yeah.
So what's in store for tonight? I got a couple would you rathers.
Oh yeah.
In the bank. We have crazy weekend news that just happened.
Oh, man,
some unfortunate things out there.
It's been kind of wild, and of course here we are on Thursday night. We're recording Thursday because your girlfriend's birthday was last night, Wednesday, which is our usual drop.
Yeah,
so
and that was a lot of fun. I did it really big for my girl, just so everybody knows out there. We did not go out to eat dinner, but we did order sushi and then ate that at the park. So that was a really fun experience. Got some sake and drank that as well. It was some ice sake, and she took the day off of work, made her breakfast, eggs, strawberries, cinnamon rolls, kind of took care of her on her B-day.
That's terrific.
And it was it's fun celebrating somebody. She's way better at planning things and celebrating people than I am. So like every year I'm trying to step up my game a little bit more to be the equivalent of celebration of self.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really fun.
I have a hard time sometimes with birthdays, including my own. Mine's actually coming up here in a week from Sunday, June 7th. So I got one coming up myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 31.
It's good, man.
31. But, it's like...
you were what, 18 when I met you, 19?
Yeah, I think 18 just turned in 19 when you met me. So, yeah, you've known me for like 12 years.
Yeah, that's badass.
Because I moved here in 07. We talked about last week when we all met. 08, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool, man. I'm glad you guys had a good time. That's why you took the night off, and hey, we're right back at it here on a Thursday night. And I was excited because I was like, well, this works out perfectly because the NASCAR race was supposed to have been last night. It got rained out, so it's running right now. And I'm not doing good in my fantasy league. It looks like at the moment. It looks like the race is on a red flag. It's going to be tough for me to keep track of this while we're on air.
I mean, I'm sure the listeners don't mind a little bit,
Yeah, I mean,
if you need to do that while we're recording, I guess you can do that.
I'm running 7th, man, in fantasy. I mean, the race is happening right now, so I'm 7th in fantasy. Joey Logano's leading, and I don't know what I'm gonna be able to do about it. But it's been a crazy week in NASCAR, man. After the Coke 600, Sunday night, that was a long race, real long race.
Was it?
Well, it's the longest race of the year to begin with. Being
it is. Okay.
It's a 600-mile race that makes it the longest.
Okay.
They call it kind of an endurance race. Brad Keselowski ended up getting the win, and I didn't take him that night because he had started last. And then a couple nights ago, what was it, Tuesday night, the truck race ran, and Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott have had a little bit of a rivalry building.
Oh, yeah.
And Chase hasn't run a truck series race in like 3 years, and he hopped into a truck and he beat Kyle Busch at his own sport, so to speak.
So that's like kind of unheard of?
Well,
that was like a kind of a unicorn event?
A little bit.
Something that doesn't happen that frequent?
Anytime Kyle Busch is in a truck, he's going to win, right? Chase Elliott goes out there, and it's great because these two have been feuding a little bit.
Yeah.
Kyle wrecked him about 2 weeks ago, put him in the wall. Chase comes out there and beats him in his own sport. So I really, really enjoyed that. And typical Kyle Busch, man, he acted like a sore loser in his interview after. Blamed it on his team, blamed it on his parts, blamed it on his
Kyle.
truck. And that's just, that's one of the reasons I respect the hell out of Kyle Busch. He's probably going to go down as the all-time greatest ever in the sport.
Really?
Coming from a Jeff Gordon fan, that's a big statement. But the guy can drive anything, man, and he can win. So, yeah, that was a pretty wild race. So it's exciting to see NASCAR back,
And there's no fan in the stand.
No fans in the stands.
So it's different though with NASCAR because like seeing WWE without any fans in the stands and watching the commentators do their thing and like talk like without that's I feel like it's more affected. And like NASCAR, you have the roaring engines. It's cool to see everybody out there, but I feel like that's going to be less affected as far as like
the fan presence.
Yeah. And so football will be affected.
Pretty much any other sport.
NASCAR should be good. maybe tennis won't be affected as much because
Tennis and golf.
yeah, golf. Yeah,
Speaking of golf, did you see that golf tournament over the weekend with Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Phil Mickelson, and Tiger Woods?
no,
I didn't see it live, but dude, I watched. I mean, Tom Brady didn't do particularly well, but he had a tremendous shot on one of the holes. And Charles Barkley was roasting him live on air because he was all connected up and shit. And he's like, Tom, what's going on? And Tom goes out there and 7-irons it off the fairway, back spins it and gets it and nails it right in the hole.
really,
yeah.
right after. See, I guess Tom just needs someone to talk.
Tom needs
a little
someone to
shit
talk
to
shit.
him,
And I'm gonna tell you
and
this,
then all
Tom,
of a sudden he kicks in.
I'm gonna tell you this. Good luck in Tampa Bay. Because you betrayed me, man.
Dude, it's football, man. It's just people changing shirt
It
colors.
sucks, dude. It sucks. Look, Tom Brady's with us 20 years.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's a long time, man.
I'm sure Indianapolis Indianapolis was a different situation because Peyton got hurt.
Yeah.
Before Peyton came to Denver.
That's true.
Brett Favre Brett Favre retired and then came back. Joe Montana, left the 49ers and went to the Chiefs. I don't know, man. I love Tom Brady. He got 6 Super Bowl championships, but I feel a little bit like...
A little jaded. Yeah, I mean, if it had Elway left,
right, exactly,
or something like that, like I would probably be like, "What the hell, dude? Like, why you couldn't just finish it out over here?" But if Tom was really unhappy with the coaching and like that had been an issue for years and years and years, and he still wanted to play, but in a better environment, like I can't really blame him.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things playing. I think Bill Belichick kind of wants to prove what he's capable of without Tom Brady. Which Bill's record already spoke for itself before the Tom era. And then Tom also wants to win without Bill.
Yeah.
Tom just wants to win. He wants to play football. And now Rob Gronkowski, a guy he's very familiar with, is down.
He was retired. Yeah.
Now he's down. Bruce Arians is going to be the head coach of those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'd say it's going to be an interesting year, man. And with no fans in the stands, I mean, that's they call it what, the 12th man or something like that.
Well, yeah, because now you won't have that whole audience, the yelling and the audible disruption. And
yeah. So basically, every game
is like a skirmish. It's like a practice.
It's like a practice scrimmage because every game
that everyone's watching
is going to be like a home game now, where the crowd's quiet when they're on offense.
So what they should do is put a bunch of speakers. Well, see, now they can't afford stuff like this because no one's going to the games. But it'd be kind of cool if they like put a bunch of speakers and then you had a speaker at your house, like you had to buy a ticket to the speaker, and then everyone could like yell at the speakers, and then it would go in the stadium. That's overthinking it, but I'm good at doing that.
That would take a lot of planning, I feel like, to coordinate that well.
Yeah.
And I've heard them saying, "Oh, we're going to pump crowd noise into the stadium." I don't agree with that. I don't think it should be artificial intelligence.
Because then it's artificial intelligence for the
noise.
Yeah. No, that's
not real.
That's silly. And come on, people, we have to just understand that we're going to do it a little differently in the second half of 2020. Like it's not 2019 anymore.
Right.
Corona happened, the COVID came, and it disrupted a lot of things. And so it's important for us to just, like I've said, move forward and find comfortability in our new and give ourselves space and time to feel good, man. And that's kind of one thing I wanted to touch on a little bit this week too was just treating ourselves well, like treat yourself good and to be honest with things, and upfront and honest. I've kind of touched on this a couple times before in the past as far as some of my struggles with substance. And, I want to be honest to all the listeners out there. I've been honest with some of my friends as well and my girlfriend, but like I've had some slip ups, man. And, I went a long time without abusing substances and was able to take some breaks. But, I feel like it's important for me to admit, even to myself, so I'm not lying to myself, that sometimes I'm a little weak, man, and sometimes I have some slip-ups, and, as long as I can be honest about that, then it's better than to hide it. But yeah, man, the struggle is real out there for a lot of people, for a lot of things, and so I've been kind of, going through that myself, trying to admit to my faults and my wrongs, and just, work harder on being the better person, Well, that's something that's been kind of going on with me. And so I just wanted to kind of bring that up this week and just, talk to everybody about just kind of being strong and facing your demons, even if it's going to make an uncomfortable situation come up, because it's hard to sleep with yourself. It's hard to, like, if you're lying and being dishonest, like that's going to affect you in some way,
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff kind of gets me a little choked up. Like, I'm a very emotional person. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So, like, whenever I say something I really mean, I might get a little jerky-eyed or teary-eyed. But, it's the truth, man. And it doesn't make for an easy life when you're trying to hide behind a facade that you've created yourself, And so I just wanted to kind of put that out there, be upfront about it, because I know I've used that as a motivation a lot of times to, find strength, and like we can overcome problems, we can overcome these things as long as we work hard. But, no one's perfect. So if you do slip, like, you got to give yourself a little bit of a break, and don't discount the progress that you've made, acknowledge the mistake that you made, but make sure that you're acknowledging the progress you've made too, because that's where the strength is really going to be at. Is like, because we could all beat ourselves up all day, but it's more important to try to find the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, recognize the mistake, recognize how you messed up or did something wrong, but try to find the lesson at the end of that mistake.
That was pretty powerful stuff, man.
Yeah, it's just been itching at me for a couple weeks to try, get some of that off my chest and just kind of talk about it, because, we only get this life once, and who am I as a person if as a character I'm willing to, be dishonest and like lie to people that I'm close to, like, what does that say about me,
Well, I think it takes a lot of courage, number one, to admit to not only to yourself but to the listeners and to everybody around you, kind of what you're dealing with. It says a lot, not only about your character, but kind of what you're going through.
Yeah.
And, hang in there, man. I know you're tough as nails, and I love you.
Oh, yeah.
We're all family. So, struggles are going to happen. You're right. People are going through hard times, especially,
they are, man.
Especially now more than ever, the stress is high and things like that. And it's kind of easy to escape with substance and some of those other things. And, hey, man, whatever you need, I'm here for you, brother.
Oh, no, I appreciate you, man. I just, I had to put that word out there, because, it's just something that's real to me right now. And I know everybody likes to put their best foot forward. And when someone asks, hey, how's your day going? Oh, it's going good. It's going fine. But as a society, we're kind of taught to not be open up front and not bother people with our problems. But, they're there, and I just want to tell everybody it's okay. It's okay to struggle a little bit. It's okay to slip a little bit,
Yeah.
As long as you keep moving, that's the main thing.
Keep moving and know kind of where you're at, kind of get your hands around this thing. Say, look, man, I know I'm struggling. I've slipped here and there. Don't beat yourself too hard, but get back on the horse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get back on the horse, man, and eye on the prize, keep moving forward, I guess. Yeah. That's been my experiences with, overcoming, getting kicked in the nuts, so to speak, and overcoming some negative and some adversity is, I guess it's cliche to say, and I understand. A lot of people are like, man, it's just not that easy to just get up and dust yourself off and move forward. A lot of people are struggling with some real stuff out there, and everybody's going to handle it a little bit differently. I mean, I drink too much. I use alcohol as a crutch, no question about it. I mean, I'm boozing every time you guys see us on the podcast. I drink quite a bit, and that's something I got to be very aware of. It could definitely take a turn for the worse if I'm not careful. I just try to be aware of it, and just try to understand where I'm at.
And that's important, that self-acknowledgement. In the earlier phases of this work from home quarantine, it was kind of different, kind of like a party. So we were like, hey, occasionally, like, what's it gonna hurt if we have a couple beers at lunch, and we don't get wasted, or what who cares if we just take a little shot during the day, and that was kind of fun. But the problem is like the quarantine continued, and my girlfriend Meredith, she brought up a good point, like, hey, like, we don't know how long this is going to continue for, and we don't want to get into these bad habits. And so we've, cut that down significantly, the day drinking, like wait until after 5 or wait until after 4, just wait a little bit, not drink as much that evening like we would normally do, like maybe just have 2 or 3 drinks instead of going hard with like 5 or 6, because I have been getting that beer belly, it's totally been, coming up and growing here, slowly but surely.
I'm catching you, I think.
I got that quarantine tan on me. Quarantine tan.
Fortunately, I still work in the grocery biz, so I'm out. I'm out moving around a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm walking quite a bit. I'm very physical at work, but outside of that, when I'm home and on the weekends, I'm always eating good. My girlfriend and I will make breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I'm always eating 3 meals. Whereas in the week, I kind of do like intermittent fasting.
Yeah. Well, like when you're sleeping.
Well, even beyond that, once I go to bed, I usually won't eat again until sometimes after 2, 3 o'clock the next day.
See, that's too long. Like I wake up hungry. Like a lot of times I wake up like and I need some coffee will kind of curb the hunger for a little bit. So that will help. I'll drink some coffee. But then after that second cup, like my stomach is craving like, bro, I need some substance.
Yeah.
Like something.
I feel that more when I'm not doing anything, like on the weekends.
Really?
If I wake up and I'm just hanging out, then I want to eat, you know.
I can see that.
And I'll end up eating probably, I could eat twice, two breakfasts and a lunch easily on a Saturday or Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
But during the week, I'm so busy, and I'm always just trying to get the job done, and then I eat.
Yeah.
So, but that being said, man, the beer.
I've been trying to pick out clothes. I know I've been kind of making a joke about it the last couple of weeks, but I've been trying to pick out clothes that hang off my body a little bit more instead of that are tight fitting, like a mitten, fit like a glove. So I've been trying to get rid of that mitten look, I guess.
You've always been a little bit husky, though, I feel like.
Other
than when I first met you.
I got wider shoulders, so I'm kind of, I feel like I'm built bigger, but definitely I've been letting my chub go a little bit.
Well, I've
been getting chubby.
I think a lot of people have been getting chubby.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are doing sitting around and
chubby
eating.
in his quarantini.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, people are ready for the gyms to open up. So back here in Colorado, at least in Douglas County where I live in Colorado, 50% occupancy on gyms, bars, restaurants, I don't know about 100% of businesses yet. I still don't know about gyms. That one I'm not sure of.
I don't think they're doing gyms all the way yet.
Either way, you can go have a cocktail with your pals now, with your mates at the bar again.
I'm not doing it just yet. Like I'm gonna wait a little while. I mean, COVID has to run its course and go through humanity, like I've kind of mentioned, but like I'm not gonna just jump right out there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of give it some time.
That's good.
Kevin's laughing at me because in the pre-show before we started recording, we were kind of mic checking, and my stomach has been growling. It's been making I ate some wings with hot sauce on them before we sat down here. I kind of had an empty belly, and the man keeps laughing at me because my belly's going.
You guys can't hear it, but it's that's what it sounds like, and it's a little bit distracting, I feel like.
Well, I think we can get through it if you're allowed to sit over here and check your fantasy league on the race that's happening. My stomach's allowed to work.
Hey, man, I still kept tabs on the conversation. I just need to check the league, which I probably should do again. But
well, hey, I could carry the conversation for a moment.
I can resist.
But talking about chicken wings, that's one of the would you rathers.
Uh-oh.
So would you prefer to have wings or chicken strips? So basically bone in, bone out.
Oh, I'm going bone in all day long, all day strong.
Yeah.
But they have to be a specific way because I do like chicken tenders, like Raising Cane's.
Yeah.
Delicious. So you're putting those up against the wings? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, basically a chicken strip against a chicken wing.
Well, because they have boneless wings too, which I don't like.
Yeah, boneless wings are chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Let's not fool ourselves, people. It's not a wing. You're ordering chicken nuggets with wing sauce.
Yeah, I don't like that. So I'm going to go overall. I think that the bone-in wings, traditional style, is my favorite.
Yeah, as well. I mean, I do enjoy a good chicken wing. I mean, a good chicken nugget or a chicken strip, but the wings, man, because you get the dark meat in there too. And like eating it off the bone, there's something primal about that I love. I know that I had a friend growing up, Sean, last name started with an M. I'm not going to put his name out there fully, but he had a thing where he couldn't bite off bones. It cringed him out to cut off of a bone, or bite off and feel the bone. It's a thing.
I mean everybody has something that gnarls them out, People think I'm a little wild because I like Rocky Mountain oysters.
I've never eaten them.
They're good.
Yeah,
they're good. I think it's a mental thing more than anything.
Probably.
They're like, oh, you're eating bull testicles. I don't want any part of that. It's like,
what if that makes your little swimmer stronger?
Well, I don't want to do that, but I'm not interested in increasing that area. But
does smoking pot decrease little swimmers?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm not a medical expert in anything, really. I'm not an expert in much other than probably NASCAR.
We're not experts in anything.
Yeah, I'm probably not.
And actually, that whole fact I threw out last week about the Vietnam War, death toll being close to COVID, I was way off on that.
Yeah, you were way off.
Way off, and I couldn't pull it up to verify. I don't know where I'm hearing this stuff half the time. So hopefully, when you're listening to us, you take it all with a grain of salt, because we honestly aren't experts at anything.
Nope, not really, not much. So I know I saw someone kind of corrected us last week on that,
and that was cool. I gave it a thumbs up. You
Yeah.
know, thank you for the participation there, and you know, we're just trying to be humble, man, and just keep it moving. You know.
Yep, that's all we can do, man.
So one thing that I cannot absolutely stand is like eyeball stuff. Like if people have to touch their eyeball, like I can't watch that. Or
Like putting in contacts?
yeah, like that creeps me out.
Really?
Or like in the movies when they have those machines that they're like, okay, we have to do this, and like it shows your eyeball moving, and there's all this machine on it. Like,
Have you ever had your eyes examined?
yes.
And what was your thoughts?
Well, no, but it's not as bad from my perspective, but to see somebody else's eye get examined and stuff is like, I don't know why it creeps me out.
So if I touch my eye, will it freak you out?
Well, like let's say you had a bug in your eye and it was like trapped in there, and you're like, oh, I got a bug in my eye, let me get it out. Then I would kind of be watching that, and I'd be like, oh, or like watching people break bones. Like that's probably cringy for everybody, but for some reason, when I see somebody like, you know, in a sports clip or whatever, and it's like the bad break and they had it on the replay.
Oh, it's terrible.
Like that always makes me like, I can't stand it.
You see that a lot in football. And
Those are kind of the things that make me cringe. Not everything makes me cringe, but those things do.
Did you ever see 127 Hours? James Franco?
Oh, where I had to cut off his arm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's just pretty gnarly. Me and my girlfriend watched that last weekend because she hadn't seen it. And that scene where before he cuts it, he, you know, essentially has to break it like twice so that he can get the knife in around the loose bone.
Oh, God.
That shit's kind of intense. I think James Franco did a pretty good job with that flick.
I think so too, man.
That whole story was crazy. I didn't even realize that guy was from Inglewood, Colorado.
I didn't realize that either.
He drove out to one of the canyons in Utah, I think it was. And-
From the actual story. I thought you were talking about James Franco was from Colorado.
No.
No, that the story was about. Yes, I did know that.
Yeah, I didn't realize the guy was from
Yeah.
Colorado until I watched it a second time. And pretty crazy stuff, man. He lives up in Boulder now. I was thinking about maybe inviting him on the podcast.
But dude, what's up?
You know?
Get on here. Get on in here and tell us about what we already seen in
He's
the
a
movie.
motivational speaker now, so it'd be cool to have him on maybe.
That is cool. See, that's something that I've always kind of wanted to pursue slightly, is just motivational talks and motivational speaking. You know, mainly because I want to affirm that stuff to myself, and so I continue to feel that good energy. But I feel like it would be a lot of fun to be able to talk to people and you know, help them develop stronger pattern of thinking.
Sure.
You know, that's always one, you know, because I wanted to do rap when I was a kid. I was like, oh, I want to be a rapper and I want to make music. But the point of that was to be able to put out content that would be open-ended enough for anybody to listen to, interpret, and like ultimately there would be a positive message there. And so that would help people by listening to music. Like there's something about giving to people and like helping people in that way of like, you know, self-help. Like there's a good energy there, man. And something pulls me to that. That's why I love the podcast. It like scratches the same itches wanting to create music. It's because we can, you know, say positive, honest words on here that people can listen to. You know, we don't have anyone telling us what to say, and there's an energy to that. I don't know. I just love it, man. I went from what cringes me out to what I love.
Well, from one extreme to the next, man. But yeah, to echo your point, it's creativity is crucial. It's crucial to keep the creative juices flowing. I haven't been making music, so the podcast is definitely, again, you know, we get together now once a week and still put out content. So that's something to look forward to, because I was starting to go out of my mind.
Yeah.
Just doing work and going home. You know, I got to be doing things, I feel like.
Yeah, staying busy, keeping the mind active. It would be nice to see the Ridge Runners kind of just do like a little acoustic thing. Like
Yeah, we're talking about it.
Where you two get together. I wouldn't mind helping out on some. Like, I don't know if I could be a permanent fixture in the band, but I think it'd be fun to get, you know, article on a couple of those tracks, and maybe I could help lay some drum and beat, you know, loops in the background or something. You know, there's collaboration there that could be fun. I think it could be.
Yeah, like we were talking about with Jamie last week when he was on. You know, we're kind of thinking about that's going to be a little bit what we look at this summer. He just ordered a new acoustic, so rather than it being this big, loud kind of rock and roll thing, because we kind of had like this cowpunk Farmageddon, like Screaming Pete called it. Kind of going back to the roots of what we started on, 2 acoustics and just kind of jamming.
Yeah.
You know, mellow it out a little bit, which I'm fine with. I think it's fun. You know.
I mean, it's all about just, enjoying yourself. We have limited amount of time on this planet, and if you could have more good evenings, then why not? And if that's something that, is fun for you and you feel fulfilled after doing it, then by all means, man, you got to pursue that.
You got to, fulfill the hobbies. I got a lot of hobbies. Take up a lot of my time.
A lot of hobbies take up some time.
Speaking of that, when are you going to come shooting with me?
I'm ready to come shooting with you. We should do it during the week, so it's not like weekend.
Absolutely. You don't want to shoot on the weekends.
We should plan on doing it maybe next Monday or Tuesday.
I can do that.
And I'll get my girlie involved.
Yeah, we could do that. We'll shoot, and then we'll do the podcast next Wednesday or something.
Yeah. Monday, Tuesday shoot, Wednesday pod.
Yeah, that works. I forget. We might have Eric on next week, I think.
Yeah.
I'll have to confirm
that could be fun. So he's my brother, family member. He's been on some of the audio tracks back in the day.
He was on 007. I remember that.
Yeah, 007 is at it. So it'd be fun to get my brother on, and then we are going to start getting other guests in. We're kind of just sticking with our circle right now, people that we know aren't sick, people
keeping the room
that are a little
small,
closer to us. We're trying to play our part in taking it slow and keeping Jamie and everybody that lives here at a lower risk, and that's how we got to do it for right now.
That's how we got to play the game for sure. I mean, we had tossed around the idea of doing some remote stuff and having guys chime in on what is it, Zoom or one of the video conferencing services. I know a lot of shows are doing it that way.
Thumbs down.
We decided against that. We're old school. We want to be in the studio with lights and cameras and wires running everywhere and trip hazards all over the place.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more our style. So a lot of great guests that we're going to have to reschedule. We got to figure out how we're going to do that.
Well, we're just going to hit them up and say, hey, we got this date available, and more than likely they'll do it.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have some inquiries out there, and honestly, I'm looking forward to sitting down and getting to know new people again, because that's one of the funnest things about Discussion Combustion is literally sitting across the table from practically a stranger and getting to know them on air and getting to know why they do what they do.
Getting to know you. Getting to know you.
Getting to know everything about you. Is that how it goes?
See, this is what happens when we run 3 solos in a month.
Everyone can go ahead and vote. Kevin is a better singer. We know that.
That's up for debate, but
Well, I've never even really sing. I could like whisper sing, and that's about it.
I think I just pretend to really sing. I'm not really that good at it. I don't
Yeah.
think. It works though.
Well, I mean, own it. Hashtag own it.
Own it.
You got to own it. I mean, and that's really what it comes down to with life and everything. Like, you're dealing with problems, you're dealing with stress, you're dealing with work, you're dealing with other people's problems. Sometimes it could be a little, overcumbent. Is that a word? Overcumbent? I don't think that's a word, but a little bit burdensome. Is that a word? It's a burden and you're overcome.
That sounds like an Arthur Rawe word, I feel like. You kind of put words that are almost it, but then still make sense, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
So all you got to do is sometimes just believe in yourself and own it. And then you could get through, man.
We've been preaching that since day one.
And then you can get through. And talking about getting through, I haven't touched the haircut again since I cut it those couple weeks ago.
Oh, I got one last week.
And it's looking chop.
My source is back in the salon, so I was able to go get it done.
Yeah.
I had to wear a mask the whole time, which was a little bit rough.
How did they do around the ear things? You just hold it up?
Yeah, I had to hold it like this. And then, I didn't get the hot towel on the face, which is kind of a bummer, but I understand why we can't do that.
Yeah. It's the new.
It's the new. So
it's the new. So,
man,
you got go.
What?
No, you go.
I just want to talk about this George Floyd shit.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal.
So I first heard about it. When did I first hear about it? I don't know. What was it, like Saturday or Sunday? I think it went down.
A couple days ago, I feel like. Yeah.
And
I've been seeing everything.
I didn't really grasp the severity of what was happening until I watched a raw video of it.
Yeah.
Of a guy standing on the side of the street was filming it with his phone, and it was. I mean, basically, we sat there and watched a murder take place.
Watched the guy slowly die.
We watched the guy get suffocated to death. I mean, that was the cause of death. Was suffocation, I believe.
Yeah, and I don't care how it's justified. Some governor in Mississippi or something was saying, "Oh, he could have died of a heart attack, or he could have died of this and that." No, he died because the dude's knee was on the back of his neck.
Couldn't breathe.
Like pushing him down. Like if you have somebody restrained in handcuffs on their chest on the ground, like you don't need your knee on the back of their neck. You could easily hold them down with your knee on their back. Like he could have, they have to go through training and courses of how to properly restrain somebody, and to just seeing that one photo of the dude where he has his knee like right on the back of his neck, like, come on, like you could break his neck.
Well, and it wasn't
even, like,
yeah, and it wasn't like it was for a short period of time either. Like I was sitting here watching this video, and this guy just was digging his knee. The guy was kind of laying down like on the asphalt, and the officer's knee was going into his neck for 7-8 minutes. It felt like
it's too long.
I guess for me, I don't understand, and I don't know enough about the story. I don't know why the police responded to this gentleman.
Yeah.
I don't know what he did, but no matter what the suspect did, the point is to apprehend him, right, and restrain him, get him handcuffed, and get him into the back of the police cruiser. So I don't really understand why he was on the ground for 9 minutes with a knee being in his back, and his other deputies around him just kind of standing there,
Yeah.
And everyone's sitting there looking like, dude, this guy can't breathe. What's going on,
And it's an abuse of power, and I feel like people that have a badge should be held accountable just like people without a badge. And there's so many cases of like, these cops shooting somebody in their apartment or something, or like where they don't get in trouble at all. Like I was reading this one where this black dude was hanging out in his apartment, and then cops broke in unannounced with guns drawn. He shot at the cops. The cops shot multiple rounds, killed his girlfriend, who was an EMT or working to help the COVID relief in the hospitals. And they were all trying to catch this guy that was already in jail. So they broke into the wrong house with guns drawn, unannounced. The dude shot in self-defense. His girlfriend got killed. And then he is going to jail for shooting at police. Like, it's like stories like that really frustrate me. It's extremely frustrating. I mean, because what do you do about it? The people who are supposed to be protecting us are abusing their powers and not even being held accountable when they do things that are completely the exact opposite of what's supposed to be happening. It's super frustrating.
It is, because, I mean, one bad egg can kind of spoil it for the rest. And you're never going to have 100%, non-corrupt and everyone in agreement, of course. But, the men and women that go out and protect and serve our communities day in and day out, I have a lot of respect for these guys.
I do too.
Jamie's son, Austin, is getting ready to go into police academy and be a police officer. So, and I have friends that are cops, but when I see something like that, you have to look at it as it's legit murder. And the mayor of Minneapolis, I believe, is calling for these guys to be charged. Well, specifically the one gentleman. Yeah. To be charged for murder, as he should.
He should. I mean, if you're going to sit there and I truly feel like we all kind of deep down know when we're doing something that is absolutely incorrect or wrong. And at what point do you have your knee on somebody's, the back of their neck for a minute, 2 minutes? Like, at what point are you just like, I'm being excessive?
What was the reasoning behind it, though, Art? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
I didn't do all the research, but I'm seeing the mayhem, like the riots that are happening.
Yeah, now people
like
are burning down. I mean, and see, here's the other point I want to touch on.
Yeah.
Did you want to finish your point?
I mean, it's just, I was going to go down the whole, white privilege thing. And, that's something that, as a white person, you don't really consider that frequently. But seeing, these videos about how minorities are treated and how the black population is treated by police officers. And, I saw this other video, this dude in his car, and he's recording it. And the cop straight up says he has a gun on him. And he's like, no, I don't. My hand's right here. I don't have a gun on me. And it's just the whole white privilege thing is actual. And there has to be a way to try to balance this out. Because as a minority, and this is coming from testimonies I've heard, they're fearful of getting stopped in traffic. That's the most dangerous 5 minutes of their entire life, is getting stopped by someone there to protect and serve, because of all the statistics around people, minorities getting completely mistreated by law enforcement. And so I feel fortunate to be the ethnicity that I am, but at the same time, what can white people even do to try to balance that out? Do we acknowledge it more? It makes me think about that, because it's usually a black person that's getting completely the bad end of the stick or whatever you want to call it. Like it's usually not a white person in the story, and there's something that it's consistent and it's frustrating. It's like, that's a whole topic there that's like it gets to people, man.
It's a sensitive subject for sure, and rightfully so. I mean, there's so many different statistics out there. I mean, you have it's not always necessarily a white on black situation. There's a lot of black on black violence. There's a lot of black cops out there that also are abuse of power, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it's inconsistent. It just depends on where you're at, what police department you're dealing with. The fact remains that abuse of power within the police force should be addressed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
These guys are pretty trigger happy a lot of the times, and they're not afraid to take you down. I mean, depending on the situation, I don't know if they're taught to shoot to kill or if they're taught to shoot to neutralize. I mean, there's a big difference there.
It probably depends on the how much threat is perceived.
Well, sure. I mean, if you're being shot at, obviously, all bets are off. You defend yourself. But if someone reaches into their pocket, is that enough reason for them to kill that individual just because they're reaching into a pocket? I mean, they say put your hands up, right? And then if you reach in your pocket, do you think you should be killed for that?
I mean, to a certain extent, you should listen to what they say.
Absolutely.
Instead of just, or you can tell them, hey, like I'm going to go into my pocket to grab this and like move as slow as you can.
Right.
But even then you could probably still get shot,
A lot of what I see is these situations escalate because they defy one thing that these officers are asking them.
Yeah.
And I get it. We have rights and this and that. We want to know what's going on. If an officer tells you to, freeze, put your hands up, put your hands behind your back, whatever the situation is, just follow the instructions. Normally what I see is a little bit of defiance there, and then it just goes off the rails. Like one little not following the directions. Now these cops go all out on this individual is what I've noticed. From the clips and shit that I've seen online. I mean, obviously we don't know what goes on out there day in, day out, but to me, it just seems like if you cooperate, probably 80% of the time you're going to be okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm Caucasian and I've been honest with police in the past, and I've gotten less severe punishment because I've been upfront and honest about like why they pulled me over and just admitting to my faults. And I know Eric sat in one day when we were doing the solo episode and he completely disagreed with being honest with police. And I can understand that perspective too. Like, don't give up any information. So it's a tricky one,
double-edged sword, man.
It's a really tricky one.
It is. And going back to the point I was just making about cooperating, I don't know what happened with the George Floyd situation, but I'll say this. From the video I watched, he was not resisting. He was apprehended. He was laying face down on the ground with a knee in his throat or in his neck. And I don't really understand what else was going on there that they needed to neutralize this gentleman.
That dude needs to go to jail.
He's probably going to.
He needs to.
He needs to be tried for murder, okay? Because that's what we witnessed.
Yeah.
Was a man murdering another man.
Yeah, those videos are dark. Like the videos where you watch people lose their life, and I don't like to watch them that much, but sometimes it's like once you see it, it's kind of hard to take your eyes
off. Like
a
train wreck. You're like, whoa.
Like I saw this one last week where I think it was in India or South Asia, and it was like in an airport or something, and this guy was hot. And he like goes up and touches this fan to try to turn it on, and there's a currency going through the fan, and like so the second he touches it, he's like, and he like starts to like get super tense, and there's a dude sitting right there that could see this all going on, and while the dude is like electrocuting to death, he like tries to move his hand some way to like signal this guy, and the dude doesn't do anything, and just kind of like.
Do you think there's like a little bit of shock factor there sometimes? When you're like, is this really happening? Is this a joke? Like, what's going on?
Like what's going on? And eventually somebody that was seeing it on camera like comes running out of the background and like pushes the dude off, and then there's like this huge like where the fan was, like where the current, and that dude lost his life in like that 27-second video.
Damn, what kind of electricity was running through this fan? I mean, using your typical wall fan, like 120 volt.
No, I mean it was a big fan, but like something was weird about it, but like. It's just life is very delicate. It's
fragile. It's very fragile, yeah.
And it's good to be reminded of that sometimes, and because then hopefully you don't make the same mistake, or maybe being aware that life is delicate and fragile will help you see more value in your mundane tasks.
Yeah. Yeah, but we shouldn't. Going back to George Floyd, justice for him, man, for sure. I hope this thing comes full circle. I feel really, condolences to the family and to the
Yeah.
community up there. It's just a terrible situation, and hopefully justice will serve itself.
And then you had that dude that got shot while he was jogging by the white folks that, like, in Georgia, they just
Yeah.
followed him down and, like, killed him because they thought he was like a robber
Right.
that they recognized.
Yeah, there's some not good things happening still. Unfortunately, I don't think we're ever going to get 100% away from profiling and random violence. I mean, even if you take the race equation out of it, you're still going to have random acts of violence that are just completely uncalled for.
Have a money, a class discrimination where you have, like, your middle class or lower class or upper class, and then that's where people will discriminate.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? You can't escape it.
One thing, I mean, I understand people are upset up in that area, and as they should be. But, I mean, come on, guys. We can protest peacefully and not destructively. I mean, these guys are turning over cars. They're burning down the city. They burned a Target down.
Brand new construction was on fire.
It's not
like came out at 1 o'clock this morning. I saw like this whole riot going on out there, and that's. I mean, it's understandable to be frustrated, but
it is.
Yeah, but like what you said,
there's a way to channel that anger.
Yeah, that's going maybe too far.
Well, I mean, why destroy your community? Even, I mean, your community's already been damaged. Why destroy it more? I understand you're frustrated. You want to get your point out. I totally get that. But it just seems to me like there's a less destructive way to do it.
But does the point get across then?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's the thing. Is like these people are probably at the end of their ropes with this. This is probably like the 7th time that's happened, within their community, and just this one hit the news and all the other ones didn't. Like, people are losing their patience out there with this, and racism is alive and thriving, and it's unfortunate, man.
It hasn't gone anywhere. I think there was a point where we were starting to advance with it. The fact that there's so much available immediate communication now, I think all of this was always going on. I think that there was still a lot of profiling, and it's happened for decades, right?
For centuries. For
centuries. I mean, but after MLK and peace and the civil rights movement started to move forward with it, a lot of people thought, okay, we're moving in the right direction. But I still feel like a lot of things were still happening in the background. The difference is now we have things like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, constantly updating us on what's going on. Everybody has a camera, right? This guy pulled out a camera, and we saw exactly what happened to this individual.
Yeah.
So there's no way you can divert from what actually happened. And I think that changes the notion a little bit too of it's less likely you're going to be able to sweep something like that under the rug.
And that's a good thing, man. Give people recording devices. Like, it should be. This stuff needs to be out there, so then it's not, oh yeah, no, he kept trying to defy me, and that's why I used excessive force. He can't use that because it's on video.
Right.
I mean, it's a sad topic. It's sad that people are losing their lives out there. I know as a cop it can't be easy because there are people out there that are willing to shoot and kill you. I would be extremely uneasy as an officer. I would be on edge. Like, everybody's potentially going to try to hurt me. That's how else do you go out into the world when you're in that position? As law enforcement, like, everyone is out to defy what you're trying to do.
Sure.
To a certain extent.
Yeah. And again, I mean, it's tough to put 100% in one bracket, right? Because there's a lot of good men and women out there that put on a badge, carry a gun, and are out there to protect and serve.
Yeah.
It's these other guys that put a bad image on the rest of the police force, and this is why so many people defend Colin Kaepernick for taking a knee during the anthem, because he was basically doing that to, it was to
peacefully protest. And I think that's okay
brutality.
that he did that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it became a touchy subject because it's during the national anthem when everyone's standing up. I get it. I think that this stuff needs to be addressed, and it needs to. But I just don't know when the right time to do it is. I don't have the answers.
Well, it's the conversation just needs to be there. Like,
it needs to be heard. Yes,
you're never gonna have all the answers for it. It's never gonna be fixed overnight. Not in our lifetime. Will racism disappear and profiling disappear? It's
not. No, I don't think.
But to just talk about it and be upfront about it, and admit to things like, hey, there is white privilege. There's based on your ethnicity, like, however you're born, like, is going to contribute to your lifestyle a lot. Like, it's important to recognize those things so we're not just ignorantly living with our privilege or ignorantly living without privilege. You know, it's important to recognize these things so then, you know, help maybe individually we can bridge that gap. You know, of not profiling somebody or maybe waving at somebody that could be profiled as sketchy, like, you know, and just giving a little bit extra, you know, love and appreciation for people opposed to just.
Yes, because the reality is that everybody, no matter what you look like, what color you are, who you love, doesn't matter. Somebody in every single group, you know, ethnicity, what have you, is doing something bad, and somebody in those groups are also doing something good, right? There's good and evil in every human being on this earth, and I believe in the good in every man, right?
Yeah.
You're never going to get rid of negativity completely, and profiling and violence and religion and a lot of things that keep people divided. You know, this is a lot of the issue, I feel like. So yeah, treat everybody the way you want to be treated. I mean, that's how I was raised. Doesn't matter what you look like. You know, let's just be nice to one another and really give everybody a chance. That's how I've always tried to live. You know, when I meet someone, you can usually get a vibe.
Yeah.
You know, if they're cool with you, cool with them, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've said this one before because I've said it since I was in my late teens, but I always start with the common level of respect, and then you could either build on that respect or lose that respect. You know, but I'm going to start with, you know, I'm going to respect this person. I'm going to respect their input, and until I get a better idea of who they are, maybe they'll grow on me, or I'll realize that they're not my cup of tea.
Sure.
You know?
And that took me getting older too to realize that as well. You know, coming out of high school and shit, you know, you're hanging around with certain people that might influence your opinions. And that's the other thing too, is this seems to me like it could be a demographic and geographic, impact as well. Because in other words, if you're contained to an area that has a small town in the woods of, I don't know, a couple 100,000 people or whatever, you know, 500 to 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And that majority of that community is, you know, evangelical Christian or a little bit, you know, maybe old school racist, you know, typically a white town or something like that. That's all you know. You grew up around that. You're in the woods. You kind of think, okay. And then you get around maybe some different diverse ethnicities and things like that, and you're a little bit alarmed and taken back by it. I think that's a big contribution to it as well.
Yeah. Upcoming, like, how were you raised? Like, what values does your family have? You know, and I really give props to anybody that's from one of those very closed-minded families that's like anti-gay or, you know, anti-opposite race or anti any other religion than the one that you practice. Like, anybody who grew up in one of those families and environments, and you were homosexual and you had to overcome that with your family and be yourself, or, you know, date the opposite race, or, you know, not believe in the same beliefs that your parents do. You know, I give props to all those people, because it's easy to follow in suit and just, you know, monkey see, monkey do, and
keep the peace kind of thing. We don't want to piss anyone off.
Yeah, and it's important to, I mean, like, these people still protesting in Hong Kong. Like, this protest has been going practically since we started the podcast.
I know.
And these people are out there still doing it, man, fighting for the freedoms, and it's just, man, I don't know even how to put it into words sometimes, like how that realistic that struggle is, and then like the strength that it takes for people to stand up for that stuff. And like, I admire people that are willing to go to bat like that, and that are willing to stand up against and sacrifice their own comfort for something like that.
Absolutely, man. You got to stand and fight. You know, that's how things change. That's how, you know, you get things done. You put you throw a pebble into a lake, it's heard, you know, kind of thing. You have to start. You have to be active.
What is it like if when a butterfly flaps its wings, you could hear it on the other side of the universe or something?
Yeah, you know, something like that. I mean, we could use some metaphor, but the fact remains is that if you truly believe in something and you want to stand up and fight, and you want your opinion to be heard, it can be done. You know? Especially now more than ever with access to social media. Some people get a little carried away with that. They get a little brave behind a Twitter screen or something like that. But you know, that's one of the beautiful things about having the First Amendment right here is to be able to go out and voice your opinion. And I totally support, you know, peaceful protests and movements against what you think is right or wrong. You know, that's how, and that's what our elected officials are supposed to acknowledge. You know, as constituents, you know, these guys are supposed to be taking our best interests in mind. And does that always happen? No. Washington, we know, is a very, very financially controlled place. And I try to believe in the best of man and our elected officials. I want to believe that these guys are there to help us, but they're not doing a whole lot to make me believe that.
Yeah, I mean, companies probably rule the world at this point. Yeah, sure, you have all these governments and stuff, but the big companies like Facebook, they provide internet to complete countries. Like, they call their internet Facebook, and like these huge companies have a power that governments don't, because the consumers buy them, the consumers watch the commercials, and the consumers believe in the product. And there's a power there that, because everyone's skeptical about politics, but like generally consumers are a-okay with the products that they're consuming. Of course, you have people that hate on everything, but money rules the world, and the corporations have all the money. That's kind of how I look. I mean, look at SpaceX, privately owned company that's now going to send a couple astronauts to the space station. Like
Elon Musk, yeah.
And they're doing things as a private company that
They do
NASA,
have support from NASA, though.
they do get some. So I'm not too sure all the inner workings of it.
I mean, for example, because I was watching the launch yesterday, which got postponed till Saturday, I believe.
Yeah.
Because I want to see that go down. They're still partnering with NASA. They're using the space station in Florida to launch these aircrafts or these spacecrafts from.
Yeah.
So NASA's certainly giving support to SpaceX. I am not going to go into that in great detail because I don't want to misquote.
I don't know anything about that either.
I was watching Elon Musk on Joe Rogan a few weeks ago. He was talking more about the Neuralink and some of the other things he's got going on. But SpaceX, I've kind of gone back and forth on NASA and SpaceX. But just should it be a private funded situation, or do you think it should be taxpayer funded kind of thing?
I think it's fair to have taxpayer money go into something like that, because where is the world? It's in the solar system that's surrounded by space. So the more that we can understand about that, it's a public interest to understand and keep moving forward. It's a humanity interest to keep moving forward and understanding space exploration, because without that, eventually, humans will just die on this planet. And if our species is to actually continue to grow, we're going to have to leave Earth eventually.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be privately funded, because if you're a very rich corporation and you got all this extra money, and you could throw it at that, then yeah, that's great. But some taxpayer money can go to it too. I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah. I've kind of gone back and forth on a little bit, but I think it's cool what SpaceX is doing.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing this launch. It's been a while since we've been putting, some men up in, above 100,000 feet in elevation, so to speak. So it's going to be cool. My understanding is it's basically kind of a preliminary run. They're gonna go up. They're going to orbit the Earth once and then come back down.
I thought they were going to go to the.
Are they going to the ISS?
Yeah.
See, I heard that they were doing a trial run and they were going to do a full orbit and then come back. So now I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like typical Kevin Arthur banter. We have opinions about things, and we think we have an idea.
Sometimes
we don't truly know.
Sometimes we sound like we know more than we do, I feel like.
It's because we're both in sales. You say it confidently, that's how you get it. So this is a good old debate for men, and sorry for all you ladies out there. I guess you could also answer this, would you rather? But this is kind of a man-based question. And I'm going to answer it honestly. I don't care how it makes me look. Do you prefer to pee standing up or sitting down? And let's just say at your own home.
Yeah, I mean, quick decision for me, standing up.
Yeah?
Yep, I feel like, I just like it better.
Yeah, see, I like to stand peeing up. I mean, pee standing up, don't get me wrong. But I don't care if it makes me look like a Sally. I would prefer to sit and pee.
Well, I mean, I don't care who's looking, right? So it's like the only person that knows is you. It's whatever's most comfortable.
Well, now more, but I'm okay with people knowing this, because first of all, you stand to pee, you got that splashback. It's like, and if you don't hit the bowl in just the right area, then it's like,
well, you need to have the seat up first of all.
You put the seat up while you pee.
Seat goes up to pee.
Oh, okay. I thought you. Sorry, I got that backwards. Yeah, no, it goes. Yeah, it still goes up.
Go up, so you're not.
But it's still gonna splash out.
I mean, it depends. You blasting a fire hose around. I mean, you got to get a strong stream.
All the pee aim experts out there know that you don't shoot directly into the water. You shoot side of the bowl, and that keeps the noise down, and that keeps the splashback out. So sitting down to pee eliminates two of those things immediately. But one of the biggest things that I don't like about that is if the toilet bowl is too small, then your junk will like touch the front of the toilet bowl. So like you have to have like a longer toilet bowl if you're sitting down to pee for a male. Like it can't be like these tiny little toilet bowls. It has to be like the long oval,
The elongated
shape.
ones. Yeah, they're 18 inches. 'Cause I actually was just looking to get a new toilet seat, and they're either 16 and a half or 18 and a half. So those extra 2.5 or extra 2 inches is the elongated toilet.
Yeah, get that. That's way better.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just saying, like all the dudes out there, it's okay to sit down and take a whiz. Now, I guess the ladies, you could also answer this question. Do you prefer to pee standing up or sitting down? I think we know the answer to that.
yeah. I mean, that's a little bit more of an obvious answer, I feel like.
But I think women could get away with that. Like, is a squat considered a stand?
No, I don't think it is, and I'm sure a lot of ladies out there do that when they're in nasty situations. Porta potties or public restrooms at a concert, someone just vomited on or something like that. See, that's the other benefit to being a man is we don't have to sit on that nasty
in the
shit.
public. Yeah, I'm standing up, guarantee it. One also random who cares fact is when women use the restroom, they don't use their muscles as far as like gravity lets it fly out, but men actually have these muscles that they need to use to push the urine.
I didn't.
Interesting fact.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that we were going to go down this here urine discussion. But hey, that's what happens on the podcast. But I'll say this, man, pretty easy answer for me. I prefer to stand up.
Yeah.
It's comfortable. I've done it my whole life. We can pee outdoors that way, and it's just simpler.
It is. It is. How we doing on time, man?
What do you mean?
Well, are we crushing this? Because I feel like I'm having a nice, easy conversation with you. I feel like
that's how they always go. We're well over an hour, and this race is still red flag. So I'm assuming it's raining in Charlotte would be my guess.
Yeah.
Is why this thing has been red this whole podcast.
Oh, so they're not even driving.
No, it's red flagged. So at least I haven't had to worry about any fantasy adjustments during this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're over an hour, man.
Man, it's just crazy how time flies. So yeah, coming from DCPC Studios, guys, we want to keep getting more people in. We appreciate anybody who's sent us an inquiry to be a guest on here. We definitely appreciate that. We're excited to talk to more people. Kevin and I, we are completely blown away by the listenership that we've been getting, and we appreciate the support like beyond even words can explain. And everything that we cover every week is genuine. We don't come up with this stuff before we sit down. We just want to include you in a conversation between friends and letting us get to know people. And so as always, man, believe and achieve your goals. If you're struggling out there, be honest to yourself about the hardship that you got going on so we could have a realistic expectation of getting over this hump to be a better person the next day.
That's good, man. This is a good episode, man. You touched on some real stuff I didn't even know we were going to get into. We were all over the board tonight, I felt like, but it's always good to sit here and have a cold beer. Always a pleasure to put these things together. Again, the listeners, man, I would just so much gratitude for you guys tuning in week and week out to listen to Arthur and I. It's pretty cool to see what we've done, and I don't feel like we're the type of guys that are going to be on a soapbox or anything like that because it wouldn't be possible without this viewership. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. It comes right there to your home screen when a new episode drops. And if you are just listening on the audio, that's cool too, man. We're available everywhere. So if you'd rather, throw it on, your Alexa or something like that, that's cool too. The fact is, you guys are tuning in, and it keeps the visibility of the show high, and it keeps the guests coming. So that's what we got to work on next is getting these guys dialed in. June 1st, we're probably going to roll out a schedule for that.
Yep.
And just kind of take it from there, man. As you guys know, merchandise, teespring.com/DCPC. Get yourself a hat, shirt,
fresh
hoodie.
hoodies,
Yep. I was going to wear one tonight, but I was like, well, with the shirt and the logo there, it might have been too much.
They know where they're at.
They know where they're at.
Yeah.
That's teespring/DCPC. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow us over there. I got to get the plugs in, guys. No one wants to hear them, but...
and if you want to support our station on Patreon... Yeah, there's that too.
That's true. We got to figure out what we're doing with that. We say it every week.
It's kind of stagnant right now. It's just kind of chilling, but
yeah. Since we took on this project, we really haven't done the Patreon. So we might be able to start. See, with social media though, we do a lot of like pre and post stuff now. Yeah. We'll do some live feeds if you guys want to see that. And I feel like that's what we were doing with Patreon before. So I don't know, man. If you guys have any ideas, hit us up on one of our platforms or discussioncombustion@gmail.com. Tell us what you're thinking. Give us some would you rathers. Send some in. We want to get you guys involved on that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we break the fourth wall over here. As Kevin always says, let her rip, Tater Chip. As Arthur says,
believe and achieve.
Yeah, baby. Make the week good. We'll be back at you next week. We love y'all.
Hell yeah, guys. Appreciate all the support. I'll see you next time.